A lot of people were memeing about make the history of the Hive and all that, but I actually decided to make it. So here goes. One stretch. I'm gonna tell everything from memory, whatever I remember. If I missed something, I'm sorry. If I missed your name or you, I'm sorry too. So let's just get into it, alright? So one day, I find Hayden's Pokemon Outlaw playthrough while watching YouTube. So at that time I thought Hayden was fucking lit, so I just subscribed. The next day, he uploads a video titled Meet the Sacramento Sea Kings GBA Draft Analysis. I'm like, wait, what? Why does this guy have his own franchise and stuff? So now I go and look through what GBA is, and I'm like, oh boy, this shit sounds great. After that, I just look through more GBA videos. I watch Mega Mogwai, and I become a complete fanboy. Like, I watch all his old videos and stuff, and I absolutely love it. So now, instead of commenting on GBA videos looking for a league, I go on Pokemon Showdown like an idiot and try to find people who would want to join a league. After getting banned from about 10 rooms, I get a PM from this guy named Trevor saying he already has a league and needs 2 more players. So I join. Now here's where I meet Spice Revenge, a 15-year-old kid from Tennessee who's really into the army. Like, he really wants to get into the army and like kill some Arabs and stuff. Anyway, the league also has some interesting characters like Bronson, who's a cocky little 15-year-old kid who was already shit-talking everyone before the league even began. And Jordan, who was I don't know, I still don't know what his age is. But yeah, he was also a specialty character. He was also talking shit. Anyway, I don't think much of this because I just want to play Pokemon GBA style. So we get into it, and week 1 starts, and Trevor doesn't play his game. But I play Spice and absolutely thrash him. Because I had this quote-unquote experience from watching Mega Mogwai's videos. Now, I almost had the same team that Mega Mogwai had too. Like, I was like, oh my god, I really got to draft exactly what this guy has. Like, I got the Mega Altaria, I got the Braviary, the Emboar, all that stuff. And yeah, I think I 6-0'd Spice that week. And Spice was like, oh my god, this guy's the GOAT. And starts talking to me. So this was the beginning of a very long journey. And from here, I started making my own leagues. Before I even think of making my own league, my boy Trevor, he starts talking about his meth addiction, how his girlfriend left him, all that stuff. And then week 2, before even week 1 even ended, like week 1 Sunday, this guy comes here in the chat and says, guys, I'm gonna go kill myself. So he just left some sappy ass suicide note, and then he just disappeared. And then a week later, the account comes online and like pretends like it's his mom saying that he killed himself. Either way, I just thought the guy wanted to disappear, so I was like, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Spice and I think, yeah, fuck this, we're making not 1 but 2 leagues. So we start posting everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I mean everywhere, like Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, Showdown. We start looking for people everywhere. So we make SCL with like Andrew, who I found on Reddit, Johnny GB, Bronson, and this kid named Ethan. Man, this guy, he had the most fire sets. Like, he brought like physical Alakazam, stuff like that. Anyway, and then we make RDL with Alex, Nader, Dylan, etc. So like, these names don't really matter. It's like, I just chose the most basic ass names. Like SCL was, I think Spice said Showdown Competitive League or something like that. RDL was just like Reddit Draft League because we got people from Reddit. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So these leagues were really fun. Like, both leagues, even with having Judd and Bronson in the same one, it wasn't really that cancer. It was even just fine. And I think SCL never ended. It was me and Bronson in the finals, and we still haven't played. And RDL, I think I won that one. Anyway, those were my first 2 leagues, and they both went really well. So John's like, hey man, this community is pretty good, and I want to start YouTube. I want to get into GBA. So we were his first few subscribers, and he starts up a YouTube channel and starts uploading, and he gets quite a bit of momentum. So after that, John was like, I'm gonna start my own league with hookers and blackjack. So he starts CBA and he introduces a pricing, a price for the winner. So we make a league with 16 people, including John's in real life friends like Christian, Danny, etc. And we combine RDL and SCL. So basically both 8 and 8 players from both leagues. And then we also had Alex's in real life friend, Aaron. Yeah, so that was CBA. CBA season 1, we had very little cancer. Even like with having Bronson and Jet and again everybody, these guys weren't that bad then. Except we had like one argument with where it was me and Nader versus like the whole league on Judden's side. And yeah, that was really annoying. Like at that point Nader was super triggered. So there was that. Meanwhile, we made GPC because Bronson was really annoying to me and Nader. So we decided let us make a league without Bronson. So around this time, I got my IRL friends, Daniel and Raph, to start playing Pokemon. These guys were really entertaining. So I get them in GPC, and this league was so fun. I think Alex went undefeated, and we had Chiangi too, but Chiangi got smashed in this league. Like, he had a really bad team. We had Marcus, we had Joey, we had John, we had Nick, we had Raph. Yeah, so and we had Choice CJ as the greatest analyst. So yeah, this league was super fire. Many new faces. We also had Robin, I think. Yeah, so it was great. So I won CBA season 1 against Danny Boy in the finals. The prize was 1 copy of ORAS, I think. Yeah, but I didn't really take ORAS. Like, I don't have a DS, so I just got $50 from John. So that was really good. Really enjoyable season overall. Even though it was 15 weeks, no one was burnt out. Like, it never felt like a chore prepping or playing. It was really fun. Everyone played really well. I think Nader didn't make playoffs, which was really surprising. So yeah, that was CBS season 1. CBS season 2 starts. So around this, we start to realize that some of our players are actually getting really good. John, at this time, John's channel took off. He joined the PMC. He got to know some really good players, like the Word, who Johnny always talked about. Johnny's front office had me, Alex, and Nader, who John never shouted us out, so fuck you for that. Anyway, so this season was really lit, surely. We had a couple dropouts, got a few replacements like Kyle and some guy named Logan, but these guy never stuck around. They just left after the league ended. So yeah, nothing much to say about this one. I won this one too. I had a busted ass draft in this one for sure. Who did I play in the finals? Did I play Dylan? I think I played Dylan. Not sure. Anyway, yeah, that's it for CBS season 2. Not much to say about this one. Pretty standard one, but probably the most fun I had in terms of games. During the end of this season was when Discord started catching more popularity, and Nick and John proposed we take the lead to Discord. During this time, John, Pokemon, and Subtile MC had started the server, which was also pretty great. So we thought that server is actually developing a community, so why not just join Discord and take our league there too. And Discord was looking much better than Skype, especially because Bronson couldn't call us every 10 minutes on Skype and make our phones ring. So we moved to Discord. Before the CBA season started, I told John that we should do a tournament like the March Madness or Summer Showdown series, which I saw on YouTube. Someone uploaded it, I don't remember who. Anyway, this is when Brawl for All began. So this gave us some exposure to the community and got us some fantastic new players like Jake, LaJohn, and Chiangi. Jake was this like 13-year-old shit kid who at first we thought was really cancer, but once he piped that down and he started talking to us, we were like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And LaJohn, he was a replacement for Paladin, who John found from, I think, CBA Wi-Fi that he made for 2 weeks and it died. And then Chiangi came back from the GPC days. And since so many people wanted to join CBA, we also started a D League, and we sent out applications, and this season had a lot of new faces as well, such as Spanik, Shiny Weavile, Jack, Gingrich, Paladin, Celindy, and the notorious Dr. Jansko. So I'm not gonna explain the whole Dr. Jansko scenario here, just know that it was a Bronson alt, and he prepped with other people, basically who were playing Dr. Jansko, and he kind of knew their teams. Near the end of the season, the cancer with Bronson got so high that John had to delete the CBS server. Now I knew this was already coming because John and I, as co-commissioners, we talked about whether the league should be an upload league or not. So John really wanted to get into YouTube, so he wanted to make his own upload league with these people, and I said not everyone can upload, and he said we'll just kick them. But I was completely against this because I wanted a sense of community, I wanted a friends league. So I already had seen the split coming for a long time because we had completely different goals as to where the league was going. So John deleted the server because there was a fight between Bronson and Judden, and basically John was on Judden's side and the whole league was on Bronson's side, surprisingly. So yeah, the server was gone. For this, I took over as solo commissioner and resumed the league as CBA Resurgence. At this point, I knew João because he was the commissioner of Daniel's first league. So we got João to replace Johnny GB, and Judden was replaced by, I believe it was Edge Colin. Anyway, so CBA Resurgence began now. Near the tail end of the season, again Bronson had a huge argument with Spice. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it got really vitriolic really fast. And Spice quit the league. And yet again, everyone was on Bronson's side because he was funny and we knew him for a while, etc, etc. So here was the end of my partnership with Spice, or my friendship rather. So kind of a sad story here near the end of CBA Resurgence. It was during this time that I realized that damn, we have a lot of good players. Chiangi, who got smashed in GPC last time I saw him, came back really strong and took the championship in a great game against the John Flames, the runner-up of Brawl for All 1. After this, we had Brawl for All 2. This was kind of a dull affair. It wasn't that well organized. During this, Nick and I had the idea of making a team league. So we started the TCL. Basically, this league was teams of 4 who draft 32 mons each, and every week you can pick 6 mons from that pool and play a member from the other team. So how you determined these teams was there was an auction, and shout out to Bronson for drafting himself for $15,000 in that auction. Bronson had Dr. Jansko on his team. So in this league we met a lot of fantastic people like Ashy, we met Mayo, we met Hale, we met Mega Butterfree, who was funny as hell. We also met Papa Max and Will the RNG Lord, who I believe went 3-0 or 4-0 in that league. So yeah, this league was very, very fun, but it died after like 5 weeks. Maybe we'll have another one soon, who knows, I'm gonna try. Anyway, after this, Daniel was like, wow, this community has a lot of good people. We should bring more people into the league, dude. Like, I want to bring my boy Rio in the league. So I was like, but we don't have space, right? So he says, why not have another division? And at first, I completely shit in his face. Like, we were at the gym and he was doing like chest press, and I completely shit in his face. I was like, man, I'm not having 3 leagues. Do you know how hard that is to manage? And he was like, okay, it's fine. Just think about it, okay? So I go home and I start thinking about this. I'm like, how am I gonna manage this? Who are the responsible people in the server who can help me out in this big task? So at that point, I think, first let me think of a name. I don't want any of these generic ass names. I don't want a CBA, I don't want a PCL, I don't want a TCL. I want something different, something that people can say and will recognize immediately. This is when I thought of the name The Hive, not only because it allowed 3 divisions, Beetle, Kakuna and Beetle. Not because these are cool, but because bees are such a great metaphor. They make honey from hard work. They work together for the good of the community. They have unity. They're selfless. And yet, they dance. Did you guys know that bees dance when they communicate? That was really cool to me. So that's why I chose the Hive. I know this sounds really cheesy, but I always thought of my league as a friend group first and a league after that. So the Hive just seemed like a perfect name. And when I said it to friends and I showed them the logo I had made, they absolutely loved it. And so it stuck. Before I started the Hive, it was time for the March Madness tournament. So this tournament was organized by TTM as usual. Very good tournament. But the league as a whole didn't fare so well in this tour. Best we did was top 32. However, the tour helped us recruit some solid players like Owen and Will the Most. The season started off in full force. The chat was lit, even more lit than before. People actually cared about D-Leagues this time. People were uploading videos. It was great. So the Hive launch was a complete success. This was a fantastic season for all three leagues, where we saw excellent games and great talks in chat, great friendships being made, and it's a fun time in general. If I sat down to talk about this season, this video would go on for at least an extra hour. So to summarize, this season had excellent competition. I think it was near the peak of Hive. We had fresh emotes, we had a great chat, and we had a fun environment. And I had a lot of fun during Hive Season 1. Lajon won Beedrill, Mayo won Kakuna, Rose won Weedle, and most of our players, they said they really enjoyed it. Lots uploaded it too, so it was great. That season, the league's popularity exploded out of nowhere. It exploded so hard. To this day, I have no idea how we got so popular at that time. Post Season 1, we had to do some off-season stuff, right? So there was this GOT going on, but people still wanted more. So one morning, I woke up and checked the chat. I had at least 15 ads, mentions, and 8 PMs. iPro and Ace of Base had proposed that NPL miners have a league war with the Hive Beedrill. And miners had accepted, surprisingly. Even though we were an unknown league. So I was on the fence about this, but then I did accept it. Meanwhile, Hale went and challenged Phantom Basis League UPC to a war as well. And after that, Beedrill League said we can't be left alone, so they asked Leo and challenged his league PBA. I've won all 3 wars. Beedrill absolutely destroyed the miners in a 10-0 wash of a war. There was some drama, but personally I thought most of the miners guys were really cool. And it was a great war, no less. Kakuna also beat UPC very handily. I think the score was 6-1 or 7-2, something like that. Vito also won their war in a close 4-3 victory over the PBA. So yeah, it was looking great. The off-season went very well, and Hive Season 2 was on the horizon. The season is ongoing. We've had to make quite a few changes, but the replacements are just as good as the people who dropped out, if not better. People have invited some great members from the Honey Invites, and everyone who has joined the chat loves it. I've had to drop out this season with the others, but I think it's for the best. But with me dropping out, none of the mods are in Beedrill anymore. So that sucks. Today, as the 2-year anniversary of that league approaches, I can take pride in the fact that the league has stood the test of time. You know what makes the Hive special? The fact that it isn't about the game anymore. I know Friends League gets thrown around a lot, but I think the Hive is genuinely a place where people care about each other a lot. It's a place where people can share stories, get advice, and have heartfelt talks about life. Hell, you can even get fucking homework help here. Every person in the league just wants to see everyone else succeed. Oh, and we have great emotes. I hope Ultra Sun Ultra Moon brings something fresh to the table so that people don't get burnt out and quit. I would hate to see the Hive collapse. So yeah, please, please Nintendo. I love all you guys, both the current and the past members. Thank you for making the league what it is. Yes, there's cancer. Yes, there are arguments, but I love every bit of it. Before I end this video, I want to shout out a few people. Big shout out to Joyce CJ, Maddie Brolick, Youngster Bill, and Frauls for being supportive of the league. Also shout out to Andrew, Paladin, Leo, Chiangi, Snivy, Johnny GB, Mayo, and Narth for being mods and helping me with League operations. And last but not the least, fuck the Hive.